I am going to explain the lesson proposal. So now we will get the explanation of the lesson. Already the notes have come to you, and now the explanation of the question answers are based on the lesson. So I think you have understood the lesson, the proposal, isn't it? Now I will read the summary of the lesson. This play is about how wealthy families ask seek to tie up with one another through marriage in order to increase their property and wealth. So wealthy families are getting married or they propose to the families of their equal, isn't it? Of their equal means of their same wealth, see the property and the wealth. So mainly the first point is the property and wealth. So they don't go for proposing in the families which are coming lower than their range, isn't it? So here in the lesson also we had seen that Mr. Luther and the other one are coming in the same families. That means the range of their family will be equal. Understood? The range of the family will be equal. That means wealthy families will propose only to the wealthy families. They don't come to the lower people, isn't it? And the lower will go along with the lower and the middle along with the middle. Especially we are coming here in this lesson. The lesson is based, the story is based on the wealthy family, isn't it? So we have seen Lomo and Chumboko. They both are of equal range and they are having property as well as wealth, isn't it? And but at the same time, these wealthy people are not having the good nature. They are not considered to be the good natured people because always they are greedy, isn't it? Always they are greedy. They wanted to get more and more. They are having that sensation that how much more they can get from the other person. So that is what the lesson was going on. Now, even for a small bit of land, they both are fighting, isn't it? And they have gone to their old family, towards their past history of their family. That means they have gone to their generation, that is great grandfathers, up to the time when their great grandfathers were owning this land, isn't it? That means when they were having the land, they have given to the peasants to work over there, and it was given to them, and then after that particular person's death, it was passed to the next generation. That means their grandfather, and that grandfather again, when his time is over, that again it is passed to their father. It comes to their father. So like that, from generation one generation to the other, it is being passed on. That means not allowing a third person to enter into it, isn't it? Because they themselves wanted to consume the profit of that particular land. So here Lomo and Jumo, they both are fighting just for a small piece of land which once upon a time it had been in the hands of Lomos, isn't it? That means their grandfather's time. And he had made the peasants do work over there, and that land was given to them for their cultivation, isn't it? So it was in the hand of those people. And finally, Nadia, she was saying that the land belongs to their own and it was not of Lomo. So the fight is there between them, and that is the special thing we can notice among the wealthy people. That means what makes them fight each other? The greed, isn't it? To get more and more. And everything, whatever is there, they think it is their own. They are not able to, or they don't share with anybody else, isn't it? So now here Lomo comes to propose the girl from Chumboko's daughter, and he wanted to get married of her because she was a good looking lady. At the same time, she is capable to take care of the house, isn't it? So he thinks that she is a capable lady for him. And now comes for the proposal, and without starts fighting for that bit of land, isn't it? And when Jumbo had told her that he had come over there for proposing her for marriage, she came to know. But still, at that moment, what she was fighting for, it has been changed, and but still, it was in their mind only, and she had agreed for the marriage. So then, how do you feel then? After the marriage also, how do they behave? They behave in the same manner, isn't it? That the quarreling attitude is there in both of them. So even after marriage also, we can think that they will continue the same. So that is the story of that lesson proposal. Understood? About how wealthy families seek to tie up with one another though through marriage in order to increase their profit. So they are going to the same range of families. Why? Because to make their property increase and increase. That means not going, the property should not go to the third person. It has to come to them only, and by adding they can make it into a big property. Understood? Lomo is a rich bachelor. So who is the first person? Lomo. So he is the one who is coming to propose. Understood? He is a rich bachelor who wishes to marry Natya. So he was coming to her house, and both are rich families. They are coming to her house for proposal. So before coming itself, Natya is not knowing why he had come over there, isn't it? But he had told to her father that he had come there to propose, and he was happy. By the time when she came there, the talk went in that another way. That means their property. The talk went in the case of property. Understood? The play deals with how all the three characters are very quarrelsome. So who is the father? Chumbuko. Chumbuko is the father. So these two are of one. He is coming to propose her. Understood? And as a whole, when we see all these people are quarreling each other, not a single one is good enough. So he comes there, and before itself they both are quarreling all the time, and though they are neighbors, they are not talking each other. But finally, when he had come over to see Jumbo for the proposal, that time he felt happy because thinking that the property will come to him. Understood? So in between, who comes over there? Natya, the daughter, who Lomo wanted to propose, isn't it? So she comes over there and she starts talking about that the bit of land. They quarrel over tribal issues and call each other names. And that means each other names means from their past. That means calling all kinds of names starting from their great grandfathers. Lomo is not really in love with Natya. So actually he is committed to propose her not because of anything, just thinking that she will be a good housekeeper. But wants to marry her, and she feels she is a good housekeeper. Beautiful and well educated. So she is a good housekeeper. At the same time, well educated. And wealthy also, isn't it? Same time she is beautiful. So he is looking only these on whom Natya. Understood? The main thing is she can be a good housekeeper. He feels that it is the time he should settle down. Natya, who doesn't know he has come to propose to her, feels that he has to come to claim meadows. Oxen Meadow. That means they were fighting for that piece of land, Oxen Meadows. Saying that this land belongs to Natya and it was from their great grandfathers onwards. It was given to the peasants for working, and still the land is with them. This result in the quarrel with her father Churoko John Lee. After some time, when Nadia comes to know that he had come to propose her, she became willing to marry him. So at first all the fighting was there and that was going on, and when at the last only she came to know, after the whole fight was over, only she came to know that he had come there to propose her. Then that time she agreed to get married with him. This proposal is made and accepted with the knowledge that quarrels will take place in that. That means whoever it is there or whatever range they are, what is there to be quarrelsome, isn't it? Once or twice can be fought for some time, but later also in a family, what can we see? Quarreling is a common. Understood? So this is showing, the story is also showing an example that in every family, in one or the other family, what will be there? Quarrel will be there between any member of that family, especially the wife and the husband, isn't it? But all the time it cannot be in a smooth running. One or many times there can be. Still, what will be continuing in the family will be continuing. Understood? And important things should not be declined because of this. The play highlights the tendency of wealthy families to seek wealth by encouraging marriages that make a good economic scene. Understood now? Among neighbors, we should have control, we should have cordial relations and not to lose our temper. How do Nadia and Romo lose their temper on small issues? So the issue was only over a meadow, isn't it? But nothing else. Talking that belongs to, he was talking that, saying that it had come to him through his great grandfather, isn't it? But at the same time, is saying actually the property belongs to them, but it was given for the peasants to do the cultivation, and still it was on the land of the, it was in the hand of the peasants. So that is why who was having that ownership on that Lomo. Understood? So actually the land is of whom? Nothing. This is what she was saying. Ownership of Oxon Meadows, both claim to be the owner. So Lomo also said he is the owner of the land, as far as Nadia was saying it was hers also. Then second, argued over whose dog was better. Then secondly, talking about the second topic after this came about the dogs. Who were the dogs? Sneakers, isn't it? And they told that he is the good one than the other one, isn't it? Talking about the dogs. So matter is only very simple. Then follow the principle, forgive and forget, should not complain and blame, should develop mutual understanding and help each other. So these all should we also have to keep, isn't it? What are the things we have to keep in mind? What are the things? Forgive and forget. Once you are able to forgive that wrong thing, then you have to forget about it, not to bring it later, isn't it? At that spot itself, it should be forgotten. Second one, should not complain. Should not complain and blame. So we should know the real thing about it, isn't it? And when we comes to know about the real thing, what should not be done? We should not complain each other. At the same time, we should not blame also, isn't it? So we should not complain and blame each other for any petty issues. Then thirdly, should develop mutual understanding. You should know each other, understand each other. Mutual understanding, that means try to understand each other and lastly help each other. So these are the points which had rolled from the story. Understood? Which are developed from the story. That means what are the points? Forgive and forget. That means forgive for what it is being said and at the same moment forget about it. That means not to bring it later. Secondly, should not complain and blame. That complaining and blaming should not be done within each other. Then thirdly, develop a mutual understanding. That means each person should understand themselves. Isn't it? They should understand themselves. And lastly, try to help each other. Now, describe the first fight between them. So now coming to the first fight. What was the first fight? The first fight was with the oxen meadow, isn't it? And second fight? Yes. Comparing their ability of their dogs. These are the two fights that was going on, isn't it? Lomo and Natya are next door neighbors. That next door neighbor means they are nearby. Moreover, the farmer came to propose him, and they both are neighbors. And the first one, Lomo, had come over there to propose Chumbo's daughter. The very first meeting had in itself seeds of things to be expected in their married life. In spite of being very rich landlords, they quarreled over a very tiny piece of land called the Oxen Meadow. So this was the first fight, which was a piece of land which had been now in the hands of Lomo, and then Nate was saying that it was given to his great grandfather by her great grandfather, and he himself had made the peasants work over there. And now because the peasants are working, still they are continuing the cultivation over there. What is there? The land they had come in the hands of Lomo, isn't it? In spite of being very rich landlord, they quarreled over a very tiny piece of land called the Oxen Meadow. Lomo said that they were given to the peasants of the Natya's great grandfathers in return for making bricks. So it happened to be considered to be Natya's property because it has been transferred to those people who are working over there, isn't it? And that had to come in the hands of her grandfather. So actually the land was first in the hands of Lomo's grandfather. Understood? That is why he had said the property belongs to him. Natya does not need explanation, instead offers to make a present of it to Lomo, who in turn rejects the suggestion. The quarrel continues endlessly. So for that small piece of land, she started fighting. Understood? Not fighting, the quarreling. That means arguing each other, throwing the words, isn't it? Throwing words to each other. And her words were going back to their family members. They did not have qualities which go to make a successful marriage. Tolerance, which are the values, qualities should they have? Yes. Tolerance, compassion, and consideration. So they had agreed for marriage, isn't it? She had agreed for the proposal, but still all these are lacking in both of them. Yes or no? They don't have any tolerance or compassion or consideration. If they had all these, they will not have a quarrel because they are first the neighbors, isn't it? So throughout their life, what they have been doing, they have been quarreling each other, isn't it? So I hope now you have understood the lesson with that explanation. Try to go with the answers what I have already given to you. Okay. Now we will do some writing section. I had given 2-3 times some of the writing section questions, so that is story writing, articles, then letter writing. Isn't it? All that I had already given to you. So again some more questions will be sent and you can write the answers and can be sent to me also. Understood? So now we go for letter writing. Many times I have given you the formats. So how many letter writing kinds of letter writing? 2. Which are they? Formal and informal. Formal and informal. So what do you mean by formal? Formal letters are official letters which we are sending to the editors or to the commissioners or to the directors. All these are official, that means going straight to the departments, isn't it? Office. And informal letters are writing to your friends, your relatives or your parents, whoever it is, isn't it? So these are the 2 forms of letters, and application form of letter is also there. That comes along with the formal letter. Understood? Now we will see what is the format of both. First we will go with the formal letter. Formal letters. So first formal letter, always start your letter along with the margin side and end also, starting from the margin side along, going along with the margin side and ending in the same side only. So there is no need of changing the side when you are writing. Understood? So keep that in your mind, always keep that in your mind, that start along with the margin and end also along with the margin. No need of, I think in the Malayalam writing the side is changed, isn't it? From the ending side is changed, but in English there is no change. Along with the margin, start from the margin and along with the same side. Understood now? So formal, first what we will do? First going with the senders. So suppose this is the margin over here. Senders address, isn't it? Name and address, not address alone. Name and address. Name and address. So you have to keep this in your mind. In certain questions you can see names already given, and in certain letters names will not be mentioned. Only the content will be asked, isn't it? So in such letters you can directly go like this. Suppose this is the margin. You can directly go like this. Name, address and place. So place also should be written. Understood? Some letters, if the name is mentioned over there and the address is also mentioned, then you should write all that. If nothing is mentioned, sometimes the question will be you. So in that case, please don't write your name or address. You should not mention your name or address. Right? Imagine any other. If you can't imagine any other, just you can write like this. Name, address and date. Clear to you, all of you? Name, address and date. Sorry, name, address and place. So place should be written over there. Suppose an address is given there and the place, everything is given there. You have to write. And it should be like this in 3 lines only. First, only the name should be there, and second, the address. Suppose the address contains two or more words over there, and don't write everything in one line. Understood? So do that. So the first one is sender's name and address. Clear to you? This is we are doing for the formal letter. This should be on the and it should be along with the margin. So first is name, then address. Whose name? Is sender's name and the person who is sending the letter. Clear to you? That is name, address and place. Now secondly, what we have to write is date. Secondly, we have to write the date. Suppose you are not thinking about writing the name or anything. No problem is there. You can write all these only. There is no need of thinking or imagining and writing anything and getting you wrong. Instead of that, just write name, address, place, then date. Anyway, you know the date, isn't it? Any date you can write. And when you write, suppose if it is 23 November 2020. Instead of that, you can write like this. No mentioning the year. Understood? No mentioning the year. Instead of that 20, you can put X also. Clear to you? There is no need of mentioning the year. Clear to you? Now coming to the third portion is what we have to write. So second is over. Now coming to the receiver. Receiver's designation and address. There we are not mentioning the name of the person. Suppose we are drafting the letter to the editor. So what you will write? Mention the article the editor. Only this will be in the first line. Second one, you can mention the name. Writing group. So everywhere the article the is there. Understood? Then the place. You can write date, no date. Any place you can write. If you know place is coming over you can write place. The word place over here. Clear to you? So now we have come to the 3 steps. First one, sender's address. Then the date, it should be written over there. Now third one, the receiver, the person who is receiving our letter, isn't it? So we are sending it to the local newspaper, news editor, isn't it? So first line, the editor, that is the name, designation, and second one is the name of the daily news daily, and third one is the place. So this address, the receiver's address will be always in your question paper. Only the sender's address will not be in your question paper, but the receiver's address will be there. Whatever the address given there, suppose if it is a commissioner or panchayat member or panchayat president, whoever can be officially calling, whoever can be there, isn't it? That comes over here, and it also should be written in 3 lines, not all together in one line. It should be written step by step. Clear to you? Then now the fourth point is we have to mention the subject. What is the content of the letter? For what purpose we are writing the letter? That is the subject. Understood? Suppose we are saying about the garbage, that is area, that means the cleanliness of our area, or construction of the park, whatever it is. Now to the editor we have to inform to the government certain things, isn't it? So in that case, what are we going to write? That also will be in your question paper. That topic also will be there in your question paper. What is being asked to write as a content. That is the subject, and this has to be written along with your answer. This has to be written along with your answer. Understood? So we had mentioned over there. Now what we are going to write. That is the subject. Then we are coming. The next point is salutation to. We are giving the respect to the person. Isn't it? Salutation. Salutation. Salutation can be dear or sir or madam. To whomever we are going to write, it depends on them. Suppose if it is the editor, sir we will call, isn't it? If it is somebody female, then we have to mention madam. So that is the salutation. Then after that comes the content, isn't it? What are we going to write? That is the body of the letter. And please, you have to remember that this also has to be written in paragraphs, and it should not go like in a novel. It should be whatever the content is, divided, though it is of two sentences or it is of a single sentence, dividing and write. So when dividing comes to the three paragraphs, isn't it? First paragraph, it is of saying what are you going to write, isn't it? Then comes the main content of the letter, that is the second one. Paragraph means don't take half of the page and middle, start from the middle. Just a little bit far from the margin, a little bit far. That means about one inch difference. Not to touch the margin, that's all. Then it is understood. It is the next paragraph. Don't think that paragraph means we have to start in the middle. Never. You can start along with the margin, leaving little space from the margin, and then you can start. Understood? Then the second paragraph, what we are saying, will be the main content. That means our subject. What are we going to write? That subject contains in the second paragraph. And the third paragraph about the conclusion of the letter. What are we asking to do, or what are our suggestions? All that asking to do, our suggestions, opinions, everything comes in the last. Then winding up of the letter, finishing the letter. Understood? So when finishing the letter, so everything will be over there, and then lastly subscription. After the body comes the subscription. Comes the subscription. Subscription means, yes, yours sincerely or affectionately or faithfully, whatever it is. Understood? So these all you can write, and when you write yours, no apostrophe is there. Yes is along with the R. Yours in plural. Understood? And not in apostrophe S. And then lastly you can write your name over there. Finish it. If you are, that means don't mention your name until and unless the name is given there. Mention the same name, and if no name is mentioned, just write over your name as you have written over in the starting. Clear to you? So now I think you have came to know about how the formal letter is being written. Clear to you, all of you? So just to go through it, understand, take down the points. I will be sending you and format of all this. Get it and make clear about it. Okay.